Hey there, and welcome to another Just Tap session, a space where we get out of our minds and drop into our body through the power of EFT tapping. So just the other day, I had gone out with some girlfriends. We were meeting for afternoon coffee. And what I thought was going to be an hour to an hour and a half break in the workday ended up being an entire afternoon. We were having such a great time. But at the end, when I was returning home, I found myself feeling guilty for not actually working that afternoon, not actually doing anything else in my business. Even though that morning I had done all of the things that I had set out to do that morning for my business, but I just felt so off that I wasn't doing more. I was stuck in that masculine energy, feeling like I needed to work. And I feel like so many of us get caught up in this. And so if this is you, then this tapping is to help us return guilt-free back into our feminine energy in a space where we can actually recognize that we are working so hard to be able to enjoy those moments, those outings with friends or family or whatever it is, even a silent moment and vacation to yourself. Like, this is what we're working so hard for. And when we don't allow ourselves to experience those pleasurable moments because we're stuck in our head feeling guilty, life is just going to pass us by. We're literally going to miss it before we actually get to enjoy it. And so this tapping is for you if you find yourself too caught up in the masculine energy sometime and giving yourself permission to really embody that feminine, embody that state of flow, guilty-free. Now, I do realize that the last tapping meditation that I had shared was kind of opposite to this because this was a tapping meditation to set healthy and loving boundaries to be able to say no to things so that we could continue getting our work done. And so the intention with all of this, it's really about building a balance, because if we're too far on the masculine side, it could be super detrimental. I mean, so many of us could experience burnout because of that. But if we're too far on the feminine side, then we're almost directionless and we're not making our impact. And so leaning too much on either side isn't good. We want to be able to come back into balance as much as we can, but also knowing that we are always going to be fluctuating because we're human. This is the human experience. And so whenever we find ourselves kind of dipping too far onto the other side and not really experiencing the results that we actually want in our life, then we can choose whatever respective healing practice that we prefer, self-care practice, to really return back to our center and have that fulfillment within ourselves. And so having said that, I have included a playlist on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't yet subscribed, I highly encourage you that you go subscribe, because I've created a playlist just for these Just Tap sessions so that you can filter through them and choose the one that is most relevant to you at this time and then do that one. It is so much easier having it all on one playlist as opposed to filtering through the podcast and all of the other episodes that I have. So if you aren't yet subscribed onto the YouTube channel, I highly recommend go and check it out. I've included the link below so that you could go and check out that playlist. All right, let's get into it. Before we do, I want to remind you that we are going to be using our hands to tap on different meridian points throughout our face and our body throughout this session. If you are unfamiliar with EFT tapping and you'd like to learn a little bit more about the tapping points before diving in, then check out the link that I've included in the show notes for a resource page on my website so that you can learn about the specific tapping points and a little bit of a history of EFT tapping. If you are not able to use your hands right now, if you're preoccupied, maybe you're driving or you're cleaning or you're doing something else, you can still receive a shift. You can still experience a shift from tuning in and listening. And if you do enjoy the shift, then you can star this episode and come back to it at a later time when you can tap through the sequence with me. All right, so let us dive in. I invite you now to take a deep belly breath in and feel your belly expand. And on your exhale, bring your awareness to your heart center and just tune in for a moment to that guilty feeling that you feel when you take time for yourself or to spend with friends instead of doing your business. Instead of doing the things that you feel need to be done feeling so stuck in being productive and unable to allow yourself to enjoy without that guilt. If you had to rate that guilt on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being it's not there at all, and 10 being you feel so guilty, it is paralyzing. You're stuck in this space where you just don't know what else to do. You don't know how to move forward. And once you've gotten that number, we're going to start tapping on the side of our hand with our affirmation statements. Even though I feel guilty when I rest or slow down, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I often feel like I need to be doing something to feel worthy, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I struggle to embrace my feminine energy, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And we're going to move to the top of the head. I've been in constant motion, always producing and achieving. Eyebrow point. It's hard to slow down when I always feel like I need to be doing something. Side of the eye. Part of me still believes that rest is lazy or unproductive. Under the eye. I've tied my worth to how much I accomplish. Under the nose, it feels uncomfortable to pause and just be. The chin, I feel guilt when I choose pleasure over productivity. Collarbone, my body and spirit are craving softness and space. Under the arm. And I'm beginning to notice that this isn't sustainable. And the wrist. I acknowledge this resistance and I'm ready to release it. And back to the top of the head for our last round. I remember why I started this journey. Eyebrow point. It wasn't to work nonstop. It was for freedom and joy. Side of the eye. I am worthy of the pleasure my hard work was meant to create. Under the eye. Every moment I allow joy is a return to my truth. Under the nose, rest and pleasure are not indulgent. They're essential. In the chin, I've earned the right to enjoy what I've built. Collarbone, my feminine flow fuels my vision. It doesn't hinder it. Under the arm, I reclaim pleasure as a powerful part of my path. And the wrist, I embody the creative, intuitive, radiant leader I came here to be. And when you're ready, you can release, take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, bring your awareness back to your heart center, back to the scale that you had set at the beginning of this tapping meditation. And where does that guilty feeling fall now? That guilty feeling for taking time for pleasure and enjoyment rather than always hustling and working and doing something. Hopefully it's gotten closer to 0, closer to the point where you feel guilt-free. You can really indulge in enjoyment and enjoy all that you have created. We are creating our business to be able to enjoy our life. This is the purpose. But if we never allow ourselves to enjoy the moment, as I mentioned, life is just going to pass us by. And so anything we can do to get rid of that guilty feeling, because what's done is done. And we are literally just dragging it on the more that we experience those negative moments. So let's bless and release whatever happened so it no longer holds us hostage. Really bless and release and relish in all of the good that these pleasurable opportunities brought to us. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this resonated with you, with where you're at. And if you know of anyone else who can benefit from this, then please share it with them. Have a fantastic week. And until next time, be empowered.